Good to know you're still with us. And in case you're just tuning in, this is Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN TV. I am Kareen, Edet. So on our today's episode, we'll be looking at concerns over state governance in Ondo State, Akeredolu's whereabouts, and of course, Deputy Governor's impeachment. A lot to talk about there. And in the studio today, we have Sam Olorunfemi, a political analyst, and we trust that he'll do justice to today's topic. Good to have you in the studio.
Good morning, Edet.
Welcome to Daybreak, sir.
Ezekiel, good to see you.
So, firstly, how has the government actually been treating you so far? You know?
Well, I don't know if Ezekiel is talking about federal government, state government, or local government.
Federal government.
Well, we are still in the process of this renewed hope of a team. But economic-wise, Ezekiel, let me be factual here. You
of course, as usual.
It has been a tough time for Nigerians. You see now. Look at what naira to dollar is talking about now. Unprecedented in the history of the Republic of Nigeria.
Maybe by the end of the year, it's going to be 2,000 to $1.
Oh wow, Ezekiel, that would be so disastrous for our economy. You know, recently we saw the move from the CBN trying to lead some item, about 40-something items now, and we have the positive impact and we have the negative impact. The positive impact on our economy is that there will be more supply in the market. Law of supply and demand policies will come in, so there will be no scarcity in the market, and we're having a projection of reducing the food inflation in the market. Don't forget, when this president administration took over food inflation of 22.3%. Now, as we're talking recently, Ezekiel, we're talking about 25.something% food inflation. That would be the positive aspect. But the negative aspect is that it will downplay our local production. You understand now? And it will have effect on our local production. And we are trying to move Nigeria to a process that we produce more of what we consume. Because if we are still importing or what we are consuming are about maybe 70 or 80% of what we have outside the country, we have problem on our economy. So the step taken by CBN, we have the positive aspect on our economy and we have the negative aspect on our economy. The negative aspect is that all those local manufacturers now, you know, there will be competition now. People will have right now to be importing things. And you know, Nigerian system, Ezekiel, we value what we import. And in fact, it got to a point in Nigeria when you have a local production, you rebrand with a foreign name because you believe that if you have a Nigerian name on it, nobody will buy it. So let's see how this government will be able to move us from this economic quagmire that we find ourselves in such a way that, don't forget, Ezekiel, we are still talking about more than 100 million Nigerians, multi-dimensionally poor. So what will government do? And we'll be seeing move from the Ministry of Humanitarian and Disaster Affairs, from Better Edu Ministry, try to say that they want to lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty. Don't forget, the last administration, President Muhammadu Buhari promised us that it's going to lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty.
Sure.
What did we see when it was going? A further dipping more Nigerians into poverty. So let's see how this government, but people have been talking about.
I was on X just the other day, and I came across a post from Ben Murray Bruce.
Oh yeah.
He said something very significant. I found it significant.
Yeah.
He said, if we're going to continue like this, then there's every possibility this naira and dollar thing will just possibly eliminate Nigerians. I'm trying to paraphrase. But if we would actually go to the point where we would try to, you know, invest into our own commodities, you know, maybe we know it's more of investing into us, you know, buying things in naira rather than buying things in dollars. So more like eradicating imports. But can we ever come to the point where we eradicate imports and focus on our own manufacturing companies?
Well, Ezekiel, there's no country in the whole world, even the almighty USA, that they believe that their consumption now are within. No, because there's where the bilateral relation comes in. So now, if I'm a country and you are a country and we're talking about bilateral relation, and I can't get something for your country and you can't get something from your country, then what's the bilateral relation you're talking about? So in as much we see what we call ECOWAS, what we call African Union, United Nations, and so on and so forth, there will be what we call exchange. You know, there's something I get from your country, there's something you get from your country. In as much you see some expatriates from your country coming to my country to work, there's no be a kind of exchange. So there can never be a time where there will be total ban on importation. Today now, are we saying that we have a manufacturing country of a car that can supply all the cars we need in this country? That was what President Muhammadu Buhari, former president, tried to do. Ezekiel, okay, let's shut our borders, let's produce rice, at the end of the day, we discovered that we're able to produce rice that the whole Nigeria will consume. That was what led to scarcity in the market. That is law of supply. When there's a little supply in the market and when demand are more than supply, there will be scarcity because there will be little product where we have a lot of demand. But when we have full demands, when the supply is more than demand, automatically the price will automatically come down, because when you go to this place, you see it, you go to that particular place, you see. So I don't see a time whereby Nigeria will be solely independent, that we don't import anything, in as much as we have foreign investors. If we see our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ezekiel, automatically we see something that we'll be getting from other countries down to our country, because that's what bilateral relations is talking about. Invest in my country, let me invest in your country. Let your expertise come to my country, let them invest, let them. That's why, recently we were talking about PPP, public-private partnership, and when this administration came on board, it talks about enabling environment for private investors, people that will come in and invest in our economy. So in as much as she's talking about that, we have people that will come to Nigeria and invest. But what we're talking about consumption now. Yeah. What we consume, can we limit what foreign things that we consume in Nigeria? So let's build our own local production. But hey, Ezekiel, when you are building in local production, what about the security? Can you invest in the country that your business cannot be guaranteed? Can you invest in the country that if anything should happen, some people will come, boggle your country and go on? And so that is another issue. Security, when we have security, where you can invest, the lives of your people secured, safe, and so on, people will come and invest. And we need a government that will even patronize what we produce locally, Ezekiel.
And talking on security, I and Kevin were just talking about the attack that happened in Benue State, Otukpo local government, to be precise.
Quite unfortunate. Otukpo local, if I'm right now.
Yes.
Quite unfortunate.
Talking about security with that sort of incident, I mean, who wants to invest in such a situation or such environment?
And Ezekiel, I could remember there was a time you, myself, and Angela were on set, we're talking about insecurity in this country, and I made mention of you of CCTV in Nigeria, that we need to move from this issue of kinetic approach, go to non-kinetic approach. Non-kinetic approach is talking about when you have deployed technology in such a way that, look at that story now. We're talking about, at the end of the day, police officer running after them. If we have a technology, it will capture those guys, now, and we'll be talking about all those guys being apprehended by now. So to me, the issue of security is a key factor, and that's what I'm talking about. Now, look at those banks affected. You think they will just come up tomorrow? They have to take a long time. It's not a business that something will happen today and you think tomorrow you have to come up. No, because a lot of things happened already. So it will take them a lot of time. When you go within Ondo here, Iloluji local government is not far here. When you go to that local government, there's no single bank at that particular local government because of the issue of incessant armed robbery attacks and so on and so on. So issue of security, Ezekiel, is very key and paramount. That's why you have it first in the Constitution. Chapter 14, subsection 2 talks about the primary purpose of government, Ezekiel, is just for security of lives and property. Now,
I'm not trying to stay away from our major topic,
but
quickly, just this one. We have had challenges, and government actually come out to actually talk about trying to cut down cost of governance.
Exactly.
But the issue of the SUVs,
I know
what millions and in total billions of naira. I know you've been one to actually advocate for this administration, and all that, but I don't see that. Forgive me, that sense. I use it respectfully.
Exactly.
You want to cut down governance, cost of governance, and yet you're pulling in hundreds of millions for vehicles.
Ezekiel, I understand where you are going, and I align with you. Last week, I was live on the radio in Ondo Ekiti, and this issue of topic SUV and the team were discussed. But Ezekiel, statutory, it is their responsibility. Statutory, they have.
But at this point,
but what I'm saying is that it's not reasonable. At this point, we are talking about how can we get ourselves
minimum wage are still struggling,
Exactly. No, labor is still talking about. We have some people that are yet to recover from fuel subsidy removal today, economy-wise. Some people that they are badly affected because we remove fuel subsidy. They are struggling now. How they can get back on their feet? And some people, set of people, their numbers quite abysmal. How many? Well, we are talking about 360, quite abysmal compared to the population of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and they're talking about amounting this. And funny thing is that this SUV we are talking about is within the Abuja. If my rep is coming from Abuja to Ondo, it won't come with the SUV just for the routine oversight in Abuja. Can they wait? It's time for them to show a kind of sympathy. It goes beyond something will happen, press release, we are feeling your pains. Very common in all these press releases from maybe president, oh, we are feeling your pains, what you are passing through. This is time for them to show that truly what we are passing through, they too are passing through. So to me, that they want to acquire, I think there was a time I was here on set when a rumor came out that they want to increase their allowance to about 140 something. I was here and I was like, no, that is unreasonable. You can't be talking this at this particular time. Let's have a stable economy. Let everybody be okay economy wise. Then you can't be talking about having another car and so on at this particular time. No, I don't think it is sensible economic wise for them. They want to acquire a new SUV. Let them wait. Let them reposition our economy first, Ezekiel, because when they were campaigning, they told us that they will go there and that they will be our voice. Now the question is, are they speaking our voice? The voice of many Nigerians is, for now, forget about SUV. If you want to walk barefooted in Abuja, walk, because during the campaign, majority of you trek about kilometers, campaigning, canvassing for vote. Now, leave National Assembly, go to ministry, walk, use Okada. You understand now? We are all Nigeria. So, but they have rights to it, Ezekiel, because it's part of their statutory right as a lawmaker. But it is not at this particular time that they need to acquire that SUV. Our lawmakers, please wait. If truly you are working for us, we are telling you now, we are the one that voted for you. Please wait. When economy is okay, when everything is okay, if you want to acquire private jets, it's for you to acquire.
Now, away from the federal government, of course. So there's something of discussion for the day. Talking about Ondo State.
Ondo State.
And, should I say crisis or the challenge?
Crisis in quotes.
Crisis in quotes. All right, there's been lots of crises or challenges.
Political crisis.
Political crisis.
Political crisis. Yes.
The PDP actually has been one that actually stood against, being the opposition party, of course, doing their job.
Exactly.
Expected of them.
Exactly.
They spoke about the impeachment of the governor himself, just before the issue of the deputy governor coming up with the House of Assembly. Now, they spoke about the impeachment of the governor himself, and they believe the state has been on what I would call autopilot.
Autopilot, yes. That's language.
So that's been on autopilot. Now, the thing is, what has been going on so far? We know the governor has been away for a while. I think from April, if I remember correctly, on a medical trip, which is of course expected if you have something to
exactly.
could. But afterwards, the story behind it and around it has not exactly been clear for many. What's your take generally?
Thank you, Ezekiel. I don't know. We have two issues now: the issue of impeachment or no impeachment, and whereabouts of the.
Let's talk about the whereabouts for now.
Okay, like you rightly said, Ezekiel, sometimes maybe 3 or some months ago, Mr. Governor embarked on a medical vacation in line with Section 190 of the Nigerian National Constitution that says that anytime Mr. Governor is going on medical leave or vacation, then you transmit a letter to the State Assembly, you transfer power to your deputy governor so that he will act in acting capacity. So when he was leaving, he did that according to Section 190 of the Nigerian National Constitution. He left, he was away for about 3 or 4 months in Germany, attending to his health, and that is normal, you see now. But during that particular time, some games played out in the government. People like, is it truly in charge that the deputy governors in charge of the state as acting governor? No, we'll be hearing a lot of things. SSG in charge, this and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, Mr. Governor came back to the state 7th of September, if my memory serves me right. But he did not come directly to Ondo State. That one also generated crisis now. He landed in Ibadan. Happens to be an Ibadan man now. He landed in Ibadan. And people were expecting that maybe after a few days, Mr. President will move from Ibadan down to the state, you understand now. And when he was in Ibadan, from that place, he transmitted a letter to the State Assembly that he's back now. The same in line with Section 190 of the Constitution, that when you transmit a letter to the Speaker that you are going, power will be shifted to the deputy governor to act in acting capacity. When you are back, you have to transmit a letter again that you are back, you are resuming your duty. Then the power will be taken away from the deputy governor. Then you have your constitutional power as the executive governor of that state. He did that in Ibadan. Again, he signed the bill, that is LCDA's bill, into law in Ibadan, where we saw pictures. He met with the executive council, lawmakers, people trooped into Ibadan to welcome him. But it got to a point, no, there's a saying that there's limit to human endurance. No, people were expecting that, okay, maybe after a week, Mr. Governor will come and join us in Ondo State. But what happened? A month, some month after, we did not see Mr. Governor, and people were like, no, it is time for us to see Mr. Governor and to know the state of his health and so on and so forth. And amidst that, Ezekiel, amidst that was the issue of removal of the deputy governor from office. But people are talking about that they want to see their governor. You know, that generated a lot of noise, and we've seen a special advisor on special duties moving from one media house or another, try to defend the action of Mr. Governor, that know that not necessarily you see Mr. Governor around, that in as much commissioners are working, in as much all these MDAs, department agencies, everybody are carrying out the assignment, that there's no need for them to see their governor. But people are like, no, we need to see governor, because when Mr. Governor was campaigning in 2016, he moved around the 18 local government. No, when he was coming in 2020 seeking re-election, the same thing, he moved around, that it is our governor. No, now, by the time you become a governor, you are not a governor of a particular political party. You become a governor of a whole state. So, and you are accountable to a particular citizen of your. So people demanded that I want to see Mr. Governor and so on and so forth. We started hearing a lot of things, to a point that people talking about that it is time to impeach or remove Mr. Governor. Now, Ezekiel, when you look at section 188, it talks about the removal of Mr. Governor or Deputy Governor by the State House of Assembly. Subsection 1 to 9 spelled out the process in removing the governor and the deputy governor. Now, in section 189, it talks about that incapacitated of the governor. No, that one is quite different from what we have in section 188. Section 188 is talking about gross misconduct. But section 189 is talking about to a point that when the governor or a deputy governor is incapacitated to function, and it will come from the state executive, because subsection 2 of that particular section 189 talks about that when the two-third majority of the state executive council raise that particular, that it's like the governor is incapacitated, the deputy is incapacitated, then they will raise an independent medical panel. Let me give you a typical example of what happened. You know, people are referring to the year of Yar'Adua 2010, late President Yar'Adua. You know, it got to a point, the same scenario played out in Nigeria. We don't know whereabouts of Yar'Adua. Then they did not allow Jonathan to act as the acting president, not until when Senator David Demang, the most respected Senate president we ever had in Nigeria, I'm not happy here now, he came up with the doctrine of necessity. We don't see Mr. President, he did not transmit letter to hand over to the vice president, then they came up with the doctrine of necessity. That was what made Jonathan to become the acting governor. Now, the late Dr. Dora Akunyili, for those who don't know her, the DG of NAFDAC, former Minister of Information, raised EU in line with what the law says, that it's like the president is incapacitated, so let's declare his seat vacant. So that's what the law is talking about as a state level. It will only come from the state executive to raise that particular law, that the governor is incapacitated now to continue to function as a governor of the state. But by and large, Ezekiel, what people are saying is that they really want to know the state of the Mr. Governor, and we've been saying this for long in Nigeria, and that is it right when a leader is having health challenges? In fact, we've seen a lot of articles that is it right for that particular leader to come up to tell people, this is what I'm passing through, this is the state of my health. It does like that is not common in Nigeria. Don't forget again scenario that happened in Taraba State under former governor Dan Babasuntai, that had plane crash at that particular year. It got to a point we couldn't see him, nothing from his office, and so on and so forth. So it's like the same thing is playing now. So people are saying that, and people have right, Ezekiel, because they are the citizens of your state, so they have right to demand where their governor is. But we'll be hearing that, and again, Ezekiel, when you look at it, all these scenarios, I'm not limiting it to Governor Kareen now. All these scenarios now is showing the lacuna we have in our constitution as it is today. Ezekiel, go through the constitution, do your analysis. You will never see a place where the constitution says that a governor cannot be in another state. It's not in the constitution. So the way of Governor Kareen, I'm not here to support Governor Kareen, I'm just trying to base analysis. The way of Mr. Governor is not an infringement on that, because there's nowhere in the constitution that says that if Ezekiel is the governor of a particular state, that Ezekiel cannot live outside the state. The law does not stipulate that. What the law says in section 1 is that if Ezekiel is going on vacation and that the word is well spelled out, when you are going on vacation or you want to go and attend to yourself, then you transmit a letter to the state assembly that you are going. Now, power should be given to the deputy governor to continue acting as an acting governor. But to me, I think we ought to have gone beyond that level, whether it's in constitution or not. And something is that we have something that's constitutional and we have something that is morally right. It is not in the constitution, but we know that this thing is morally right, even though it's not in the constitution. But I think it's beckoned on whoever is or as center of this particular contention that come out, let the people know what is going on. I'm here, I'm not here, and so in fact, it got to people who are talking that maybe Mr. Governor has been whisked away back to Germany, but we cannot substantiate that particular information, whether Mr. Governor is seen in Ondo State, whether he's seen in Ondo State or not. But what I'm saying is that people have that right to ask for where is Mr. Governor. They want to know where Mr. Governor is. Even though you may like to say that governance is going on. It is true that governance is going on, but there's nothing like when you have the chief executive around, because people will feel it. People were talking about during the EU of Naira redesign policy and so on and so forth. We heard the voice of Mr. Governor in Ondo State when he was trying to show his displeasure with the steps taken by the former CBN governor, time limit, and so on and so forth. During the year of Amateku of 18, Ezekiel, we're hearing the voice of Mr. Governor that and so on and so forth, that there must be a regional security architecture that will protect each region in country, because the centralization of security architecture in Nigeria is not even helping the matter again. No, before we started this content, we're talking about the armed robbery attack that happened in Otukpo. So let's assume that we have state policing or regional policing, will have been easy for them now to arrest the situation. So during those periods, we heard the voice of Mr. Governor and so on and so forth. But today now, we are not hearing his voice and so on. And the deputy governor, Ezekiel, as we speak today, the deputy governor is not in the state. So it is not in the state. So we don't have the governor in the state. Likewise, we don't have the deputy governor in the state. And the question has been, who is now leading Ondo State?
I guess autopilot is the right word.
We don't have the deputy governor. So that has been the noise in the here now. And to me, this is not too good for our democracy, because leadership is all about transparency, Ezekiel. Leadership is not all about building roads, building schools, paying salaries, and so on and so forth. Transparency must be there. If anything is happening, let people understand what is going on.
Now, at this point, the deputy governor is being sort of accused of disloyalty with the governor and talking about gross misconduct at some point. Yeah. And then to wonder, is there some sort of friction between the deputy governor and the executive governor at this point? Yeah. And what is it with the news of gross misconduct and the issue of disloyalty?
What is playing out currently between the governor, the deputy governor, and the state house of assembly is not new. In 1983 in Ondo State, we had the same EU, then former deputy governor Omar Boliowo, and the Ondo State House of Assembly. It's not new. In 2015, Ezekiel, we have the same EU between the former then deputy governor Baba Alolanusi during Mimiko Redeem and the Ondo State House of Assembly on the issue of not being loyal to the governor. In 2020, the same thing played out between the then former deputy governor Agbola Ajayi and the Ondo State House of Assembly. The same thing is playing out in Ondo State. It's not in Ezekiel. Recently, Philip Shuaibu, our neighboring state, and his boss Obaseki, both of them were in the news. You maybe disloyalty and so on and so forth. All these things are not new in our political space. In fact, I can give you a series of examples. We've had that in Oyo State between Seyi Makinde and his former deputy governor. That one was removed. We've had it in Kogi State during the first regime of Yaya Bello and his former deputy governor. We've had it in Imo State between Rochas Okorochas and his former deputy governor. We once have it in Enugu State. We once have it in Zamfara State. So it cut across this issue of fist off between the governors and their deputies. And all this thing normally comes up anytime we are running to election. The one I mentioned in 1983, it was when we were preparing for 1983 a general election between Omobori and Dashi, Ondo State House of Assembly, out of Agbola Ajayi in 2020, when Aketi was seeking re-election in office between Agbola Ajayi, deputy governor, and the State House of Assembly. And this one now is coming up more in a build-up to 2024 Ondo governorship election. So one of the allegations leveled against the governor is talking about being over-ambitious, that he too want to become the governor of a state, not being loyal to Mr. Governor. You know, when the assembly were try to say that they must remove it. You know, we have this about 14 counts chant against deputy governor. Part was EU of trying to remove the governor. In fact, when that one came out, someone called me that is it possible for deputy governor to remove the governor? And I said yes. And he said how? I said go to one I cited, go to section 189 that the executive council will be able to come with that particular that just like the governor is incapacitated, he can't continue again. So they levied that against the deputy governor, and as you know, we saw. In fact, initially we were told that he used or he approved 300 something million naira, one of the part of the palliative money. They want to buy himself SUV and so on and so forth. But you know that issue of the impeachment of deputy governor and so on, I think that one has been put abated. No, recently we saw the meeting held between the national party APC and some members led by the speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly now, and we're like not that they want to adopt family approach, party approach, and so on and so on. So that EU between governor and deputy governor is all about Ezekiel, it's all about 2024 election in Ondo State, and this thing is very common in Nigeria. Hardly will you see a deputy governor succeeding their boss. In fact, the only person I know now happens to be the current minister of works, the former governor of Ebonyi State, David Umai. You know, he started as the local government chairman, secretary, deputy governor to Martin Eleshi for 8 years. When he was going, he got that luck. Martin Eleshi of Ebonyi State handed over power to him, and he ruled Ebonyi for 8 years now. Now he's in Abuja now as minister. So there has been a problem between the governors and their deputies in Nigeria. That's not new. In fact, the current president, between him and Femi Pedro in Lagos State when he was there, people should go back to history. So it's not new in this country, Ezekiel. So, but in Ondo State, you know, I started in 1993 between Omoboriwa and Ondo State House of Assembly, 2015 between Alelanusi and Ondo State House of Assembly, 2020 between Agbola Ajayi and Ondo State House of Assembly, now 2023 now between Ayedatiwa and Ondo State House of Assembly. So people are asking that is it true that there's problem between the deputy governor and the governor? I think both of them will be able to. Both of them we have best answer to this particular, because they are the one in the midst of this political quagmire now. Whether there's agreement between the governors and the deputy governor, and all these things, Ezekiel, they are not far-fetched. No, we keep saying that the office of the deputy governor is not well stated in the constitution. No function you can attribute to the office of deputy governor, because when you look at the constitution just says that there will be the office of the deputy governor. Why? So there's no that special assignment of functions. You know, at times they do refer to them with profound respect to their office as spare tire. You see now. So there's no constitutional right or constitutional functions you can just attribute to the office of the deputy governor, and that's why today that is very easy. And we've seen cases whereby state assembly, anytime we have a governor and his deputy having EU, you see state assembly coming out to say that they want to impeach the deputy governor. So that is not new in Nigeria. But I can tell you that what is playing out in Ondo State, I'm Ondo State. I'm a citizen of this state, and I've been following Ondo election trajectory since 1999 when Babade Farati was there, when Agagun came aboard in 2003, when Miko got the mandate through the appeal court in PD 2009, when Aketi came over in 2016, when he got elected in 2022. So I've been following Ondo politics since 1999, and I can tell you that what is playing out now, it is a political game towards 2024 in Ondo State, because people are saying that deputy governor is aspiring, that he want to take over from his boss and some cabals. You know, all these things, this is all cabal. So it's not in Asoro that we have cabals. We have cabals everywhere. You understand? So, and some people are saying that no, it shouldn't be the one that will take over from his boss. So it has been a game up and down. But to me, it is not fair, and it is not good to the citizens of the state. This is not the time supposed to be having all this. Supposed to have a serious government in place that will be working towards programs, policies, and intervention of the state government. So now try to make sure that things are in place for the people of the state. Not all these crises today, crisis tomorrow, state assembly, have they abandoned their function? Is the only social 188 that we have in the state? What lawmakers, what are they doing? What about the oversight functions? Are they even going to the ministries? How about the check and balance that they have, that state assembly has over the executives? Are they doing that? So the issue of impeachment, where Mr. Governor is taking over the space in Ondo State, and it's quite unfortunate because we ought to have moved beyond this level. This is not the time we'll be talking about it. Government should be talking about how they will position the economic environment in Ondo State, how they will get things working in Ondo State. So to me, it's quite unfortunate that we are having.
So from what you're saying, it's safe to say at this point, the issue is rather political and rather than based on legality.
No. It's highly political, Ezekiel, because there's nobody you will tell that they will tell you that all this is not about politics. Power play in 2023 and 2024, rather people want to contend, we want to succeed. Akeredolu, we know constitutionally, Akeredolu is not seeking re-election again. Constitutional right is by February 2025, it will complete his required 8 years in office as stipulated by law. So people are talking about how are we going to succeed him, and there's a template on that. Where would the power be shifted to in Ondo? And we have our return in Ondo State. In Ondo State we have 3 central districts: Ondo North, Ondo Central, and Ondo South. And when we look at this since 1999, when Babade Farati was here, Babade Farati was from Ondo North. When he was leaving in 2003, Agagun took over the mantle, league governor Agagun from Ondo South. When Agagun was leaving in 2009, he gave it to Mimiko from Central. So after from Mimiko now, they completed the O3 and that. When Akeredolu was coming in 2016, he started over from Ondo North again, and people are talking about the power must shift to Ondo South. So, and no deputy governor is as well from Ondo South. In fact, majority of aspirants now that we see under APC now, majority of them are from Ondo South. So these are the power that is playing out Ezekiel. So it's not about, if we are talking about legality, Ezekiel, then we need to question Ondo State House of Assembly. That is it today that they know that deputy governor is playing on gross misconduct and so on and so forth. So purely about politics. If it's not about politics, APC National will not even wait in. No, they waited in and they told the State of Assembly, go home, resolve it politically. So you guys will continue with your government. So it's basically on politics and 2024 in Ondo State. But people are saying that they want to know the state of the health of their governor. You understand? Now they want to know where is Mr. Governor. No people are not happy with what that they want to know. If Mr. Governor is not okay, there's nothing wrong, Ezekiel. We are all human beings. Times will come that, in fact, Ezekiel, you need to know how busy all these governors are attending to meetings and so on and so forth. But at least we need to let people understand that no, we are running the mandate we are enjoying. The mandate was given to us by you people. So if anything is going on, we hold you down so that we come out and explain what is happening to you guys. So people are asking that they want to see that. And I could remember when the essay to the governor was on a particular your sister TV station. It was like governor away because of the innovation of the apartment. No. How can you say governor is away because apartment Babade Farati lived, apartment Olusegun Agagun lived, apartment Mimiko lived for 8 years. Your principal was there for 4 years, running to where the tenure now is there. You know that the apartment that Mr. Governor is saying is not okay for him. No, we cannot be playing on the intelligence of the good people of Ondo State. But wherever Mr. Governor is, wish him good health. But to me, Ezekiel, politically, it's not too good for the good people of Ondo State at this particular time.
It is expected of the House of Assembly to be independent.
Yes.
But all of a sudden, we understood the court actually sent more like proceeding, asking them to hold whatever proceeding they have concerning the impeachment of the deputy governor. I tend to wonder what exactly is going on. Now, I personally thought it was supposed to be an independent body, and then all of a sudden we're having a court orders from Abuja, asking them to stop.
Well, Ezekiel, to me, that this raise another question about the legislative arm of government across the federating units. How independent are they? Let me cast your memories back. Between Ladoja, former governor for Oyo State, and Oyo State House of Assembly, Ladoja was removed by Oyo State House of Assembly. Ladoja went to court, and that removal was annoyed by the court that it was politically motivated. Ladoja was restored back to office. Obi in Anambra State was removed by Anambra State House of Assembly. Obi went to court and the court said, no, your removal was politically motivated. So we've seen, in fact, this issue of Agbola Ajayi and Ondo State House of Assembly Don't forget that the chief judge of Ondo State then, Kareen, he said no, faulted the process for Ondo State Assembly. In fact, the one we've seen recently, the chief judge said that no, that we cannot do so. The question is, what is really going on among the state houses of assembly? Are they truly independent? And to me, I will tell you that the answer is no, because it's like they are still at the mercy of the state governance today. If truly they are independent, there should be a kind of interference from the executive. It's like we are seeing some interference from the executive. In fact, when they went to Abuja, and at the end of the day, we saw on the social media that the national body told them to aid the process. I was like, does it mean that the impeachment process in the first place not true? Because if it is true, Ezekiel, there was a time that Ondo State bent that no, they must remove the deputy governor, that he has committed offense under section 188, and now some set of people are not telling that you should stop the process, and you are about to stop the process. What does it say, Ezekiel? The question is very simple. It shows that initially what you are trying to initiate happens to be just politically motivated. If not, if truly the deputy governor has committed an offense, because that section is talking about that it's possible for deputy governor or governor to commit an offense, and when they commit an offense, they will not just be removed from office. They have to follow section 188. If truly Ayedatunwa committed an offense, Ezekiel, I don't see the national body telling them to stop the process and for them to stop the process. So for them now agree that they will stop the process, it shows that initially the process was politically motivated, just to oust the deputy governor out of office. And again, it questioned the authority of the state house of assembly, because to me this will dent their image. And these are the words, not the words of KAFTAN TV or the producer of Daybreak Africa. These are the words of Sam Olorunfemi. This will dent the image of the 10th Ondo State House of Assembly, Ezekiel, whether they like it or not.
Okay, so just to tip this in, still on the issue of the deputy governor and the governor's crisis. Now, report has it that the governor is hunting for a new deputy governor. I mean, which questions his leadership style, or is it that he's incapable of maintaining good relationship with his deputies?
Edet, when EU of Ayedatunwa came up, people refer to him that, the same thing that happened between you and Agbola Ajayi. Now you are having the same EU with your deputy. Does it mean that in the space of 8 years we are going to make use of 3 deputy governors? That no, it got to people started talking that it does look like the problem is not even from the deputy governor, that the problem is from the governor himself. And we need to understand. See, Edet, let me tell you, when the EU of Agbola Ajayi came up in 2020, in the build up to 2020 election, people were talking about Agbola Ajayi not being loyal to Aketi and so on and so forth. And when the election coming up, the governor himself went to pick the present deputy governor. That no, I can confide in this guy. No, he can work with me, and no, too. So give me, let him work with. In fact, there has been question that if Edet should be given a ticket to become a governor, that should she be the one that will pick her deputy, or party should be the one pick deputy. So it got to people like, no, that Edet is the one that wants to become a governor. She will be the one to know that, she will be the one to know who's suitable to run with her as deputy. But we continue to see EU here and there. So it was one that picked Ayedatunwa to become his deputy. So what has happened? And Edet, I've told you what happened is not new. It's just about 2024 governorship election. The moment the deputy governor started showing interest, even though he's here to publicly declare that he too want to run in 2024 or he too want to succeed his master, but there's what we call body language. You understand now? There's what we call a political body language, to know that if anybody want to run for an office, you will know. So the moment they started seeing the body language from the deputy governor, he too want to succeed his boss, then this EU shenanigan came up that no, it should not, and so on and so forth. When governor was away trying to impeach the governor, COVID-19 money, he wanted to buy a car for himself, and so on and so forth. So to me, and don't forget that if there's no deputy governor, there can never be governor. That is well stated in our constitution. If you want to become a governor today, you must have a running mate that you nominate. Then that your nomination will be valid under IDEC. If you have a running mate, your nomination as a governor can never be found. So we in the future that we'll be looking at where we're going to have a good synergy between the governor and the deputy governor. And up to today, if you are a governor, if I'm deputy, all those that will work in my office, they will be appointed by you. So now look at the process. Someone want to work with me as deputy governor, but you will be the one to appoint it. That's why it's very easy today. If there's issue between the governor and deputy governor, easy for governor to fire the ace on the deputy governor. We see now, we saw it in the Ondo State now. Shaibu was even long out of the gate. Deputy governor of the state. All his ministerial aides moved. What about it that were moved? So we need, that's why people say that we need to restructure our constitution in such a way that they will give a clear term of power to our deputy.
We are almost out of time, but quickly, do you see a possible solution to this situation anytime soon? Just in a few minutes.
Well, I think according to the meeting in Abuja, they told the National Assembly and State Assembly to aid the process. Then Assembly said that either to us should go and we have case pending now. State High Court in Akure and Federal High Court in Abuja. So I think they've written to Aida Tuwa that if he wants this to be resolved amicably, he too should go and withdraw all the suit at the Federal Court in Abuja, State High Court in Ondo, so that everything will be swept. Let me use the word swept, and this have a word now, Ezekiel. Everything will be swept under the carpet. But to me, this is not good for prosperity, for generation coming in Nigeria.
Indeed. Thank you once again, Sam, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, like Sam rightly said in his words, he hoped this will be swept. I really hope for peace in myself. And then at some point, we believe we have a better whereabout as to the governor. I know that. Now, at this moment, handing over to Lagos City, we have so much more for you. Of course, have a wonderful day. I remain Ezekiel Ogar.
And I'm Kareen Edet.